Hey folks, Randy Wilburn here from Gābl Media. I having a problem with the live stream for some reason. I had to stop the last one, and so I'm going to try to give it another go and see if we can get through this episode. I don't know why the live stream keeps wigging out and acting up, but hopefully we can get to the bottom of it. But regardless, conversation I wanted to have today is a real quick one. It's about time. It's the fact that it's the one commodity we can't get back, right? Once we use it up, it's gone. And I know that for a lot of design professionals, dealing with the issue of time is one of the reasons why you don't sometimes like to try new things. I keep seeing this. This keeps happening. Unable to start streaming. An error occurred creating a live video post on Gābl Media Group Inc. Do you want to? And just continue. All right, so I'm going to continue recording. I don't know why this is happening. I'm not going to be long for today's episode. I just wanted to talk with you a little bit about time and the importance of it. Obviously, you all know that, but also how do you leverage time to share your best information? And one of the things that I've been talking about with regard to putting a podcast together or getting your message out there to extend your brand to the world and let them know about your firm and why you guys are so special is the simple concept of, I don't have enough time to put something like that together, Randy. Podcasting sounds like a great idea, but we just don't have enough time. My team and I are stretched to the gills, and I totally understand that. And I think that's one of the reasons why, there is certainly an opportunity for you to consider utilizing the technology that's around you and that's available to you nowadays to get the word out, to let people know what's going on and why, what you do matters and why people should even care in the first place. And so, I want to encourage you to be thinking about ways that you can come up with a plan to share your story. And I want to give you one example of how you could potentially do that, and take this for what it's worth. But we all have great content that we've already created, right? Things that we know really resonated with people, things that we know really kind of set the standard for who we are as an organization. One of the things that you can do, there's a new tool out there. We all know about OpenAI and ChatGPT. But there's a tool out there that utilizes artificial intelligence called Notebook LM. And Notebook LM is a product from Google. And that essentially allows you to build your own large language model. And that model will allow you to basically take information that's important to you, distill it, and then give you back the answers to the questions that you might have. So for instance, let's say as a company, you take your top 5 projects and how you've described them and shared them out with the marketplace, whether through video transcripts of some of the work that you've done, whether through presentations that you've done for your projects. Take the transcripts of all that information and feed it into a program, a language learning model like Notebook LM or ChatGPT. And when you feed that information in, what our artificial intelligence does for you is you can ask it to specifically sift through the information to mine what might be topics that you could talk about on your podcast. Because again, one of the biggest issues that I hear from people is that, first of all, we don't have the bandwidth to do what needs to be done to get a podcast off the ground. And I typically tell people that they have more than they know. All of you that are watching this video have examples of amazing projects that you've done, examples of amazing presentations that you've done, papers that have been written on your behalf for one project or another within your organization. All that information can be fed into a large language, a language learning model, and can then be sifted for the nuggets, right? What can I take out of this? And what Notebook LM now does, which is really cool, it does a couple of things, but I've been using it for a while now. But one of the things that it does is it allows you to take a grouping of information, upload it to Notebook LM, create literally a notebook, and then from that notebook, ask it questions. You can query that notebook for all the information that you've uploaded, and utilizing artificial intelligence, you can ask it questions. You can create prompts relative to that. Like you could upload the information that I just described for your firm, and let's just say you uploaded 15 pieces of content. You could then ask it and say, based on this information, and then give it some information about your company, who you are, how long you've been in business. You could ask it and say, hey, what would it take? Can you create an editorial calendar for an engaging podcast that would introduce our brand, our company to the world? So given that you already know we have a website, we have social media, now we want to create a podcast that talks about who we are. The technology is such today that you don't need to sit down at your desk and write all this out. You can feed artificial intelligence, AI, the information through multiple different platforms. I'm just giving you one example. Google, Notebook LM through Google. You could use ChatGPT. You could use Claude, as the cool kids say. Perplexity. You can use a number of different platforms to get this information. The reason why I like Notebook LM is because Google's doing some cool things with Gemini and with their different products. But Notebook LM does a lot of cool things. They just came out recently with the ability for you to upload papers, whatever you want to upload, and then Notebook LM will create a podcast episode for you based on that information. And the artificial intelligence hosts will have banter back and forth. And I wish I could share an example of it, but I'll link to an example of the podcast that Notebook LM can create. And I'll link to Notebook LM in the show notes below so that you have an idea of what it's all about. But anyway, I digress. The challenge here is time, right? We never have enough of it. You're already working on a million projects. You're working on RFPs. You're trying to get something out for the senior project manager that needs you to get that marketing work or material done so that you can get it out to a client. There's all kinds of things that you're doing. I get it. But I'm encouraging you to leverage technology to your advantage, to determine what a podcast would look like. Even if you just took some of the top information. If I were working with you, this is what I would do. I would take all of that information, I would distill it down, and then I would give you a recommendation. I could come up with a editorial calendar fairly easily, but I would give you a recommendation of what would an editorial calendar look like for 6 episodes? What would an editorial calendar look like for 9 or 12 or 15 or, well, you fill in the blank from there. But I typically recommend that people only consider somewhere between 6 and 12 episodes to create a season of shows, of podcast episodes that talk about your firm. And again, with the advent of AI and the tools that we have at our disposal, many of which are free, you can take this information and cultivate it into something that actually makes sense. And then you can review that editorial calendar, and ChatGPT or Notebook LM will come up with some recommendations saying, based on the information that you've shared with us, here is what we recommend. And then at that point, you can, kind of take it and run with it and figure out what you want to do. And so I really want to encourage you to be thinking about that as you move forward and as you hear me talk each week about all of the benefits of creating a podcast for your brand and getting the word out. It's really not as hard as you think. And the technology is such, we're at a crossroads right now of technology, and every day is something new. And so I really want to encourage you today, more so than anything else, is just to be thinking about what tools you have at your disposal, what you could put together, and how you can, get some information out there to share with the world. It's not as hard as you think. You may need some hand holding. We can certainly help you with that. But even if you just have a question and I can help you, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to give you some information that will be valuable as you take this journey. But I was talking with a marketing professional that's been in this space for years, and we all acknowledge and understand that sometimes we are slow to move and slow to act in the design industry space. And I get it. Um, Engineers and architects are a very cerebral bunch of folks. You don't move really fast, but when you do move, you really make a difference, and I appreciate that. Again, as I say all the time, you guys are responsible for the built environment, so I have a lot of faith in what you're capable of doing and how you do that. My encouragement is just simply embrace all of the tools that are around you to allow you to extend your brand, to stop being the best kept secret out there, and let people know who you are and what you're all about. And it's more than just doing something on it's more than just doing something on your website, which is very static. Okay, it's more than you just posting some stuff on Instagram, Facebook, social media, LinkedIn. You got to get out there and tell your brand's story early and often. And with the tools and technology that we have at our disposal nowadays, it's that much easier for you to do it. And so I really want to encourage you to be thinking about it and to be thinking about, how could I leverage technology to extend my brand with a podcast? What does that look like? I just kind of gave you just a simple canvas of what could be pulled together. And I'm going to be doing more examples of this in the future, just to kind of give you some specific case studies of how you can make or use cases of how you can make this work. So I don't want to go too deep into it right now, but time is never on our side as far as that's concerned. You can spend a lot of time in meetings. You could waste time with client meetings and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is you really want to just continue to get the word out and let people know what makes you guys so special. So I'm going to, I don't know what's going on. I'm having problems with my live stream, so you're going to see the replay of this video, and I apologize about that. But it doesn't change the information that I just provided to you. So if you need help, if you want to understand what Notebook LM looks like, I'll post a bunch of that stuff down below. But definitely check it out when you get a chance. And if you have any questions, as always, you can message me. If you're looking at this and you're not a design professional and you need help, just holla at your boy. See how I can help and give you some additional information to move you through the process. It's really not as hard as you think, but you've got to be willing to dip your toe in the water, just a little bit, just a little dip. Will make a big difference. So anyway, I hope that helps. That's all I have to share with you today. Again, time is that one resource that just keeps going every day. We keep losing a little bit each day, but you know what they say, don't count the days, make the days count. And so that's my advice to you today, is continue to make the days count. And one way that you can do that is by leveraging the technology that is around you to create the best version for your company, the best version of you. It goes on and on and on from there. So if I can help you out in any way with that, just let me know. My name is Randy Wilburn. I am the Director of Business Development for Gābl Media. And I look forward to connecting with you at some point in time in the near future to see how we might be able to help you out. And if I ever can answer a question for you, just reach out, message me on LinkedIn. I'm easy to connect with, and hopefully I'll talk with you soon. Hope you have an amazing day. Peace.